All right, so we returned to Taco Bell, and they said, we're gonna give you a garbage bag to carry out your nachos in. What is up, everyone? It is the endorsement, and it is time for another review. This is where I try something and tell you if you should like it or not. I can be very persuasive, so today I'm going to try to persuade you into the other new item from Taco Bell. Now, if you did not see, you have not heard, you haven't been on the internet lately, you haven't checked TMZ, it's not there. I reviewed the Steakhouse burrito from Taco Bell. So today I'm returning because that review was not much of a success. So I said, let me give them a second chance. That burrito lacked some steak, and if you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. I will link it below or above. But they also came out with their new Steakhouse Nachos. So we're gonna give these a shot and see, just see, if they can redeem themselves. Check it out. All right, everyone, you got an up-close and personal look at the Steakhouse Nachos. But right off the bat, before I even get into this, I'm gonna tell you why I personally don't get many of these nacho items at fast food establishments. Because that glob of sour cream and that glob of guacamole, you know, it's not going to work with all of the other things going on here. So I salute you, Taco Bell, by giving us a lot of the tortilla, and it looks like a decent amount of steak and refried beans and some cheese on top of here, and it's got the new queso, the new green chili queso supposedly. But right off the bat, this is a very large order of nachos, and they usually just come with a little splattering of this. So, all right, so let's kind of dig into this. I told you what it had: refried beans, some steak, guacamole, sour cream. So let's try to get a little bit of everything on this first bite. The steak looks okay for now, but again, you know there's none underneath. There's none underneath there. It's not layered, but this was $6.29. Let's take a bite. Ooh, a little spice there, a little spice kick. So as you can see, I am not wasting any time with these bad boys, and they are breaking off in my hand. All right, just kind of going to town here on this top layer and eating some of the toppings here. Very messy, but that's to be expected with some nachos, so don't mind if I do. All right, so I kind of butchered this enough, trying to get up as much as I can off the top to give you a nice assessment on this. I'm just gonna be flat out and tell you that for $6.29, no matter how many of these tortillas they fill, I'm just not having it. Just a little slight amount of that new green chili queso just kind of strewn around. I mean, where there are some pieces of steak over in this region and over in this region, they again, just like in my burrito, are these microscopic pieces. I mean, here's a semi-decent sized one right there, but the majority of them are like ground up. So I don't know if it's just my location that I keep going to, but, and man, with like 3 or 4 bites, the sour cream and the guacamole, as I predicted, there's so much left here, and unless you got some other stuff at home, it's just gonna be some plain tortilla chips. All right, there's some of the refried beans, but, oh man, what the? Come on, let's just, all right, look at this. Let's reach, look at this. Caveman style. Final breakdown on these. $6.29. I will admit there were a couple packets back in this back section here that did have a decent amount of steak, but the queso is basically non-existent, and the 3 cheese blend is kind of just strewn around, and the refried beans were just kind of thrown on top. I mean, when you really get a handful of all of the toppings on this with a couple tortillas, throw it all up in your face noggin, it has a nice taste to it. I mean, it's Taco Bell. You kind of know what you're gonna get here. You know what it's gonna taste like. But for $6.29, I'm not sold on some of the topping amounts for the amount of tortilla chips you're gonna get, which is impressive. It's a decent size, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm leaning to not being that impressed. So let's rate this, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 100, with 1 meaning don't even waste your money, and 100 being the promised land of, I'm going to give the new Steakhouse Nachos over at Taco Bell a rating of 80. I fought with my inner self, my inner rating self, to not give them a 78 or a 79. I will give them an 80 because it does taste decent when you get enough. This definitely could have been up there, 85, 88, maybe approaching 90 if they just did us a little solid. Hook us up with the toppings on some nachos, and it'd all be a perfect, perfect world. But I get it, you're trying to cut back. You start adding all these toppings on, gotta up the price. I know all the logistics. I'm just telling you from what I got, based on what I see here on this visit, this experience at this Taco Bell, this. That's my rating. So there you go, another review in the books. Please like, please comment, and please subscribe. Also, don't forget to check me out on Instagram and Twitter. That is social media that gets the word of the endorsement out to the masses. Definitely check me up on that Instagram. Instagram is blowing up. I think 468 followers in 3 years. Hold on to your hats. I'm coming for you, reckless eating. I'm coming for you. So on a positive note, it's just fun to eat messy nachos. It's just fun. Plain old fun. Definitely something to eat while